Hello, this is Edith Newmeyer, and I am the author of the book, The Mystery of Adam. I want to make a second video today. My first video today, I just wanted people to be ready for the next event that will happen for the church, and that is the rapture. And I have said that there are so many signs that point to a possible rapture this fall during the Feast of Trumpets. So listen to my previous video. But today I want to talk about more signs that point to exactly that event. Now, Paul told us to watch for signs, and in 1 Thessalonians 5, he says that we're not in the darkness, that Jesus will not surprise us as the ones that are sleeping. We're supposed to be awake. Matter of fact, let's look at that. I'm going to look at the 1 Thessalonians. And I'm going to put 5 on, because that's where we can find it. Let's see if I can move this over a little bit. If it comes up. My internet again is very slow. It seems to be always slow where I live. I don't know what it is. Pretty sad. But it's slowly coming. But anyways, that's what Paul tells us in 1 Thessalonians 5. He tells us that we are not in the darkness, and we should know and watch for the signs that are coming. We're seeing so many signs. We're seeing signs that Jesus is returning soon. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about today is this deception that we have been under for a long time. Well, actually, maybe from the time of Reformation, because we never really went back to biblical truth. And so for 500 years, even though we continue to believe that we are saved through faith alone, the real teaching about that was really covered. And so lots of people, they just think, oh, I have to accept Jesus as my Savior, and that's it, and we're saved. But that's not true. Okay, a lot more has to be in place. I have to follow Jesus, and that's the main thing. And when I'm following Jesus, I'm always looking for his return. I am the bride that is waiting for the bridegroom's return. Okay, you have to understand the wedding ceremony, the Hebrew wedding ceremony. The bridegroom and the bride, they get betrothed, and then after that, in other words, they make the contract, and they pledge. It's a covenant that they're making, that they will get married. So then the bridegroom goes, prepares a place for the bride, and he returns. And when he returns, the bride needs to be ready. She needs to be prepared. She needs to be ready. She needs to have the Holy Spirit. She needs to be transformed. She needs to be clean. And that's what we see in Matthew 25. Then the bridegroom comes. And again, we need to be ready. Now, here's what Paul says in 1 Thessalonians 5. But at the times and the seasons, brethren, or brethren and sisters, because that's King James translation, and the original is gender neutral. So he's addressing the brethren and the sisters. Ye have no need that I write into you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, remember that is the theme of the Feast of Trumpets. Thief in the night. Now, what does that mean? He comes out in the open for everybody to see. No, a thief is not proclaiming, hey, I'm coming tonight and I'm going to steal your property. He's not going to proclaim that to the whole city and to the police, hey, I'm going to break into this house tonight. He's not doing that. A thief in the night is in secret. And I know lots of people are saying secret rapture doesn't exist. Yeah, it does. Right here. Thief in the night. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. What is he talking about here? He's not talking about the rapture, is he? No, he's talking about what's coming afterwards. Because after the rapture, and he's actually also talking about the day of the Lord. Okay? The day of the Lord. The day of the Lord starts with the rapture, with the bridegroom returning like a thief in the night. But after that, the wrath will happen. Now, the people, I don't even think will notice that too many people are gone because the government will have something in place for them, so they can be deceived longer. The thing is, I started out saying that we have been deceived. For 500 years we've been deceived. Before that we were killed. All true believers were killed. We could not profess our faith, or else we would have been killed. Then after that, the Reformation happened, and Satan went underground and deceived the believers. He infiltrated into seminaries. And so then he started deceiving. And so we need to open our eyes again to see the truth. So, but let's continue here. So he's coming like a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they will not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you like a thief. He is talking about the day of the Lord, which is 1,000 years. So 1,000 years things are going to happen. And the first thing is that Jesus will come for his bride. That's the first thing. And then the wrath of God. But ye, brethren, are not in the darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of the light and children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of the darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that get drunk are drunk in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith, love, and helmet of hope of salvation. For God has not appointed us to wrath, okay, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Jesus Christ, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. So he is here telling us not only that we're going to be raptured, which he totally talked about in verse 4, if you want to go back to that. But he's also talking about if you're missing the rapture, if you're missing the second coming, you're going to be stuck in the wrath of God. And he's clearly saying here, no, but you are not going to be surprised by the day of the Lord. You will be ready. You will be ready because Jesus will come and he will take us out. Here is the proof that the rapture will happen before the wrath of God. Okay? Before the wrath of God. And then people say, well, what about the tribulation? Well, that's where the deception is. Okay? That is where the great deception is. We were deceived to believe that there is something called the tribulation. The tribulation, anytime the tribulation is mentioned, it is before the church is taken out and all saints go through tribulation. Why do you think right here is he telling them to put on, be sober, put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation? Why did he tell them that? He explained that even closer, better in Ephesians. I think it's 5 or 6 if you read. Why would he tell it to them? Why? Because they're going through a hard time. Before the rapture happens, there's going to be tribulation for all saints. If you don't go through tribulation, I tend to see, hey, maybe you're not even a Christian, a true believer. Okay? So this is what's happening pretty soon. And we need to look for those signs that Paul was talking about. We need to be awake and sober, and we need to watch for the signs. And one of the signs that I mentioned last week is what we're going through today with this false pandemic. We have been going through this world. There is a new video that I will recommend for you to watch by Really Graceful. I have mentioned her before. I really like to watch her videos, called America, Would You Notice If You Lived Under Tyranny? Isn't that an interesting one? You should be watching it. America, Would You Notice If You Lived Under Tyranny? Now, of course, Americans cannot understand that at all, right? Why not? Because we think we're living in a democracy. But this is part of the deception, the great deception that we're going through before Christ returns. We have many, many people right now falling away from the truth. Lots of people falling away. They are very fearful, and therefore what are they doing? They're following the beast system, which we're having right now. We're having the beast system in place right now. They're following the beast out of the earth of Revelation 13. And they're bowing down to the beast system. They're little minions, freely. They're little minions to support not only the government, but enforce their tyrannical laws and amendments they're putting in place. That's what's happening today. We have, oh my goodness, I don't know, is it 85% of the people that are totally supporting this tyrannical government that is lying to us? And this, people make no mistake, we have been lied to for centuries. Okay, for centuries. We've been lied to for hundreds of years, even in this country. This country was, yes, they say that all the time, founded on democracy and freedom and all this stuff. And yet, for a long time, some really, really dark forces have been infiltrating this country, our government, and have been turning it into a totalitarianism. And that's all I can say it. It's really a totalitarianism. And watch this video by Really Graceful and see if that is not opening your eyes. Yes, there's still people, too many people, that are sleeping, and they're thinking, oh, we have a democracy, and if we just vote for Trump this next time, everything's gonna be fine. And oh no, we're not gonna be global government. Trump is against global. No, Trump is not against globalism. He may not be for it, okay, but he still can't do anything about it. He is in the hands of this global, what is it? Order, global, what organization? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Global whatever. Now, one thing that Americans, especially Americans, are really, really deceived about is this idea that America is an empire. Okay? They still think, oh, we are bringing democracy in this world. And believe me, we are not bringing democracy into this world. We are bringing tyranny in this world. We're bringing war into this world. Look, where in the world did America bring ever democracy? Everything they do, everywhere America goes, they're destroying the country, and they're not putting up democracy. None. Look at all the countries they invaded. They are now worse off than before. Worse off than before. Every country they have invaded, and the United States has invaded in numerous countries since the Second World War. Since the Second World War, actually it's almost the First World War, the United States has become an empire. Okay, an empire. And you know what an empire is? Roman Empire. Oh no, but we can't call the United States an empire. Why not? How is America different than the Roman Empire? The Roman Empire went out to conquer. Went out to conquer. What has the United States done since the First World War, or let's say the Second World War? What have they done? They have gone out to conquer. Remember what horse is that one? Look at the horses in Revelation. Which horse is it? The black horse? One of the horses went out to conquer. I have talked about that in one of my videos, maybe go 2 videos back. That's when I talked about it. What is it called? Let's see. Like I said, it takes a while. I talked about it, maybe even my last video, or the video before that. Yeah, the video before that. The war against humanity, the 4 horsemen of Revelation. Showed it clearly that they are already have been running. And one is they're out to go to conquer. And that is what an empire does. An empire tries to dominate the whole world. That's what the goal of an empire is. Now, United may say, oh, we bring in democracy. No, they have not brought democracy to anybody, nobody whatsoever. They don't right now. They're taking democracy away from America at this point. They are now controlling everything in America. Why? Because Trump declared and the governors declared an emergency, and then they can do anything they want. They can put anything in place they want. We have a fake pandemic. This virus is not deadly, people. It is only affecting people that have preconditions. And yes, they may die. I'm not saying that. But healthy people will not. Children, especially children, they say that over and over again. And what are they doing? They're playing with parents today when to reopen or how to reopen schools in the fall. They know it doesn't affect children. But they are making them feel guilty and scared. Oh, you will bring this home to your grandmother and kill your grandmother. That is ridiculous, people. It is so ridiculous. Well, then if grandmother is so feeble, then please keep the kids away from grandmother. That's just bottom line. But you can't prevent kids to have an education just because grandma is feeble and she's getting ready to die. And this virus would just, add more to it. Okay? And I've said that so many times, I'm 64. If my time is here, my time is here. I raised my kids. I see my grandkids being raised right now. I am here to proclaim the gospel, and that's about it. And then when God thinks it's time for me to go, it's time to go. This virus is not going to stop me. If I'm supposed to be going home, then I'm going to have an accident next time I step in my car. People are not thinking, but no, they are deceived. They are scared. Right now, people have been so scared that they're willing to follow and bow down to this beast system. Now, remember I talked about this worship that is not maybe a worship as we know it, worshiping God, worshiping, a person, but it's simply that you support it and that you enforce it. You enforce the rules and regulations of the system. That's what we're having today. Again, I mentioned in one of my videos, you know what? People always came down on the German people because they were so stupid to follow Hitler. And I'll tell you, the same thing is happening today in the U.S. Oh yeah, it's going under, we're protecting people. No, they're not protecting people. They're ratting people out. Okay? They're policing everybody so they will follow the guidelines, because they're scared and they don't want to die, even though there's no reason. We have to get this virus. We have to get the virus in order to get immunity. We cannot trust our government to take care of the immunity of the population. Why? Because they will misuse it. We're too much in a totalitarian government today, and they will use it. Now, who is this government? Please watch some of my videos because I explain it very simply. It's the top most rich people, the 1% who have all the money, like the Bill Gateses and the Soros. It's not even Soros anymore. It's Bezos and all the other ones. They have the money on top, and they are pulling the shots. Now, that's not them. They're just being used. That's why I have all the money. Okay? Satan, Lucifer, has been running the show for 2,000 years. 2,000 years, people. And we're just coming to an end because Jesus is returning, and he knows. And he also knows that the wrath of God is coming. There's another video that I just recently, see if I can get to that real fast, that I just recently found, and I watched it this morning, about this meteor asteroid that's coming, okay, on the 1st of, is it 1st of August? No, 1st of September, okay, 1st of September. This asteroid is coming. And it comes very close, closer than the moon. And it doesn't mean it's going to do some damage to the Earth, but it can very easily. It's a huge asteroid, and it can easily do damage to the Earth. Not hitting it necessarily, but just being alone in the atmosphere. Watch this video that I posted on my group, Facebook group, Great Deceptions of the End Times. Watch it. Okay, so there's two things you can watch on my Facebook group. I may also put them under in the link so you can see them. And these are the things that are happening. We've had more and more of these asteroids coming. We're supposedly going through this asteroid belt. Okay, so and we know that we've had a lot of strikes, a lot of asteroids, hitting our atmosphere, and they're burning up, and you can see them as a streak more and more. Okay, as we go into the end times, that's going to increase, because that's exactly what will happen. If you read Revelation, the 6 trumpets, that's the wrath of God, or the 7, it's not the 6 trumpets, the 7 trumpets, Revelation 8 through 11, and Revelation 16, the 7 bowls. Those are the wrath of God, and you will see what happens, and you'll see how many asteroids will hit the earth, or things get burned up. Lots of crazy things happening. So it's real. The things that are coming, the wrath of God is real. And we need to wake up. We need to wake up and realize that we're not living in a democracy anymore. That this whole thing, we're going into the wrath of God right now. Here, I finally have it. It's called Asteroid 2011 ES4, may hit Earth September 1st, 2020. It says May. I don't think it will. I don't know if it will hit. Okay, nobody knows, but it comes awfully close. If you watch the video, it comes awfully close to the Earth. It comes closer than the moon, and that means you can actually see it, people. You can see it with your naked eye, just like and it's not just going to be like a shooting star or something like that. Okay, it's going to be big. And I don't know, I heard it from somebody, comments on the bottom, somebody saying, well, and it will hit around Florida. I don't know. I know people have been talking. If you have ever watched Paul Beckley, which I don't watch at all, but I just, after doing research on this asteroid that's coming, I came across his stuff. And Mike Around the World, I think that's what his name is, Mike Around the World, he was also mentioning it. So I'm not saying it's going to, this asteroid is going to happen, but, when the wrath of God starts, the wrath of God starts after the rapture. Right after the rapture. Matter of fact, we may already be in some way in the wrath of God, right in the beginning when the rapture happens. It's all possible that we get already some of these things, before we even gone. It's very, very possible that we will experience some of them, okay? Some of the things of the wrath of God. But you need to be ready, and you need to be awake. You need to be awake, and I think most people are not awake. Some people still think that, there's going to be a revival in the U.S. I really wish there will be a revival in the whole world. Absolutely. But no, there's not going to be a revival in the United States. I don't foresee that. I don't see that in the Bible. In the opposite. Right now, what I'm seeing is that at least 85% of people are sleeping. And I would think even another 10% are not even Christians. They may be somewhat more awake and are realizing what's going on with our country. But right now, these 15% cannot cause any more changes. Unless some of the people that are now slumbering or pretend to slumber are getting out and actually will go against the government. That can happen too. Are there, we always heard about the patriots and the preppers and all that stuff. Where are they? They're hiding up in the mountains someplace, in their bunkers. Is that what they're doing? They're not even coming out and going against what's going on today. Why? Because they think they're snuck and safe. See, that is exactly what Revelation 6 says. That these people know the wrath of God is coming, but where are they at? They're in their bunkers. They're preparing their bunkers. Revelation 6. Okay, and I'm sure you have seen that. That is what's going on. taught that for so long. I said so long that these people are preparing their bunkers right now. And but they know it's coming. See, these elite, these rich people, they know the wrath of God is coming. They know it. And they're hiding right now. So they don't care if the economy is going to crash. They don't care if people, die. Really, the government doesn't care. They're right now only trying to see how many people they can control. That's all they're seeing right now. They're not interested how many people they can say. This is a false narrative that they're saying, oh, we want a vaccine. No, that's only putting people to sleep so they don't know what's coming. So if you go to Revelation 6:12, I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth, made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to earth, as figs drop from a fig tree, when shaken by a strong wind. The heaven receded like a scroll, being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Now imagine that. That is the wrath of God in a nutshell. In a nutshell. Okay? That's the wrath of God in a nutshell. Now, in the next chapter, 8, well, not next chapter, chapter after that, 8, when God opens the 7th seal, you will see the wrath of God in detail. In detail. Now, how do I know this is the wrath of God? Because that is the day of the Lord. It's the day of the Lord that I just read about, that Paul mentioned in 1 Thessalonians. He also mentioned that in 2 Thessalonians 2. That's the same day of the Lord. That's how the day of the Lord is described in the Old Testament, and that's why I know it. Okay? Do your research. So that's why this is the day of the Lord. Now, nothing is said about the rapture here. Nothing whatsoever. Okay? Nothing. Why? Because I believe God kept it a mystery. Jesus kept it a mystery. Now, when we go to the next chapter 7, we see actually that the saints are in heaven. But here we don't see it. So look what the people that are left behind are doing or saying. 15, then the kings of the earth and the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and everyone else, both slave and free, hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. They called to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it? You see that? They know. The unbelievers know. The elite, the princes, the kings. They know the wrath is coming. And they're hiding in the bunkers. They're hiding in somewhere underground. They have already things prepared, people. Okay, that's why I really, really believe we're coming close. All they're doing right now is trying to keep, once the first things happen, people will go nuts. People will go nuts. And they're going to have to keep control of the masses. And how can they do that? They can only keep control if people will stay in their house and follow the instructions of the government. That's the only way. And that's what they're preparing right now. See, the masses are not going underground because they don't have enough room. Only the people with money go underground. What happens to the other people? Well, they're going to be up here. They're going to be destroyed. You understand that. That's why it is very important that you will wake up and see what's going on, because this is going on today. Everything is in place. Now, how did these people know what's coming? People, number one, Satan knows what's coming. Satan knows what's coming, okay? He has a lot more technology than what you can imagine. All this technology that we are having comes from Satan. He knows what's coming. He knows what's going on, with the sun, with the earth, going into a pole shift. This heavens receded like a scroll is most likely a pole shift. And every mountain and island was removed from its place. You need to think about it. Our time is up. If you're not realizing we're not going back to normal, and what's happening today is on purpose, because the elite know what is coming. They know what's coming. Okay? Once it hits, we have a huge problem with food distribution. Okay? Because it whacks everything out. It like talking about blackout, we may have a blackout. And people are going nuts. So what are they going to tell them? Oh, go in your house and put your masks on. There may be, the whole air may be polluted at that time. Oh yeah, just at least they had enough face masks given out to people. Okay? At least everybody has a face mask. You have no idea what's coming. You need to open up your eyes, and you need to be prepared for the rapture. And again, listen to my previous video that I just made about that event and this coming Feast of Trumpet. We are seeing the signs. If you don't see the signs, please wake up. Please wake up. I'm coming to the end. There's not more I can say, because you either wake up or you're just going to continue to sleep and say, all right, you know what? We're not even there yet. Okay, you go ahead. You just do that. And always let the Holy Spirit guide you.